Hey, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be going into the entire life of Rhaenyra Targaryen, but before we begin, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, let's jump straight into it. Rhaenyra Targaryen, cheered as the realm's delight when she was young and later called the Half-Year Queen, was the firstborn child of King Viserys I Targaryen. Rhaenyra was King Viserys' only living child by his first wife, Queen Aemma of House Arryn. At the age of 8, she was made her father's heir and grew up expecting to become the first ruling queen of Westeros. Rhaenyra was a dragon rider whose mount was Syrax. Her claim to the Iron Throne was challenged by her younger half-brother Aegon II Targaryen, sparking the civil war known as the Dance of the Dragons. She was the mother of two kings, Aegon III and Viserys II. Rhaenyra's personal sigil was the standard Targaryen heraldry, a three-headed red dragon on a black field, quartered with a moon and falcon sigil of House Arryn for her mother Aemma Arryn, and a silver seahorse on green sea of House Velaryon for her first husband Laenor Velaryon, as well as for the Velaryons in general, who were among her major supporters. During the dance, her faction is used for personal heraldry as their battle flag. Rhaenyra Targaryen was born in 97 AC as the only surviving child of King Viserys I and his first wife, Lady Aemma Arryn. Her birth was bittersweet, as it came with the tragic deaths of two older brothers, both of whom perished in infancy. The loss of her siblings would make Rhaenyra the sole heir to her father's throne, a status that would shape the rest of her life and define her place in the Targaryen legacy. From a very young age, Rhaenyra displayed the characteristic traits of her Targaryen bloodline, particularly her connection to dragons. At just 7 years old, she became a dragon rider, a significant achievement for a child of her age. She bonded with Syrax, a young dragon, and the two shared a deep connection that would last throughout Rhaenyra's life. This marked the beginning of her strong ties with dragons, a bond that would define her role and her claim to the throne in years to come. By the age of 8, Rhaenyra was already assuming the roles of responsibility. She became her father's cupbearer, a position that brought her into close contact with King Viserys Targaryen. She served him at feasts, tournaments, and royal events, and was rarely seen apart from him thereafter. This constant presence in the king's life made Rhaenyra more than just an heir. It allowed her to observe the politics of the realm firsthand and established her as a key figure in the royal court. Rhaenyra's relationship with her extended family also played an important role in her early life. Of particular note was her bond with her uncle, Prince Daemon Targaryen. Daemon, known for his roguish nature and charisma, frequently returned from his travels across the Narrow Sea with exotic gifts, which enhanced the young princess. He was frequent and influential presence in her life, and Rhaenyra looked up to him, a relationship that would evolve into one of the most controversial aspects of her life. Rhaenyra's life took a defining turn during the great tournament celebrating her father's ascension to the throne. In this tournament, Sir Criston Cole emerged as the victor of the melee after disarming Daemon. As part of his victory, Sir Criston offered Rhaenyra a laurel and asked for her favor on the lists. At just 7 years old, Rhaenyra was captivated by the knight's valor and became smitten with him. This admiration grew over the years, and in 105 AC, when Criston joined the Kingsguard, he became Rhaenyra's personal protector. She even referred to him as her White Knight, and was deeply devoted to him. In turn, wore her favor in every tournament and acted as her shield during public events. Tragedy struck Rhaenyra's life in 105 AC with the death of her mother, Lady Aemma, during childbirth. Aemma had been giving birth to Rhaenyra's second brother, Prince Baelon, who also tragically died a day later. This devastating loss solidified Rhaenyra's position as the only surviving child of King Viserys, which in turn made her the heir to the Iron Throne. To secure her claim, Viserys made a public proclamation, naming Rhaenyra his heir and having the Lords of the Seven Kingdoms swear loyalty to her. Rhaenyra was also formally declared the Princess of Dragonstone, the traditional title that was given to the heir apparent. This act cemented her place as the future ruler, but it also set the stage for the political rivalries and conflicts that would shape her reign. In 106 AC, King Viserys remarried to Alicent Hightower, a union that initially seemed to bring peace. The relationship between Rhaenyra and her stepmother began amicably, but this dynamic began to sour when Alicent bore Viserys' two sons, Aegon in 107 AC and Aemond in 110 AC. Despite their births, Viserys made no public declarations about altering the line of succession, and he continued to uphold Rhaenyra's status as his heir. This refusal to name Aegon or Aemond as heirs fueled unrest at court, with whispers of potential rivals to Rhaenyra's claim. The situation only grew more tense when Sir Otto Hightower, Alicent's father and the king's hand, pushed for greater clarity on the succession, eventually leading to his dismissal from court. This marked the beginning of the factional divisions within the royal court, with the Greens supporting Alicent and her sons, and the Blacks who backed Rhaenyra's claim to the throne. By 111 AC, the division between the Greens and the Blacks had become more pronounced, particularly after a grand tournament was held in King's Landing to celebrate the 5th anniversary of King Viserys and Queen Alicent's marriage. The tournament was a spectacle, and it was here that the rivalry between the two factions came to the forefront. During the opening feast, Queen Alicent wore a green gown signaling her allegiance to the Greens, while Rhaenyra wore the traditional red and black of House Targaryen representing the Blacks. The tournament itself saw victories for Rhaenyra's supporters, particularly Sir Criston Cole, who wore her favor during the melee and unhoused many of the Queen's champions, including some of her own family members. These events solidified the two factions and deepened the rift between Rhaenyra and her stepmother, Alicent. Amidst the growing tension, Rhaenyra's personal life became a subject of scandal. According to Septon Eustace, Rhaenyra lost her virginity to her uncle, Prince Daemon, before her 16th birthday. This act, though scandalous, was seen as an act of passion between two Targaryens bound by blood and their shared dragon-lord heritage. However, other sources, particularly the Full Mushroom, painted a much more scandalous picture, claiming that Daemon not only seduced Rhaenyra but also taught her the arts of love, even taking her to brothels on the Street of Silk, where she observed and learned from prostitutes. These allegations, though widely disbelieved, added to the already complex and controversial nature of Rhaenyra's early life. Eventually, King Viserys learned of the affair between his daughter and his brother. He exiled Daemon, hoping to quell the scandal and restore order to the royal family. However, this action only served to deepen the rift between Rhaenyra and her father. The exile of Daemon marked an end of Rhaenyra's innocent affection for him, for it also began the process of fracturing her relationship with her father, leading to tensions that would only escalate in the years to come. Rhaenyra's early life, marked by personal loss, public rivalry, and scandal, would set the stage for many years that followed. Her claim to the Iron Throne, secured by her father's declaration, was challenged by rivals both within her family and across the realm. As the tension between the Greens and the Blacks grew, Rhaenyra's journey from a young, idealistic princess to a powerful, determined claimant to the throne would shape the history of the Targaryen dynasty and alter the course of Westerosi politics for many generations up until Game of Thrones. At the age of 16 in 113 AC, Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen assumed control of Dragonstone, an island fortress and ancestral seat of House Targaryen. During this time, she had already become the subject of too much attention from various lords and noble families throughout Westeros, all eager to secure her favor and potentially marry her. Many suitors vied for her hand, including the sons of Lords Blackwood and Bracken, who had once dueled over her when she visited the Triton in 112 AC. There was also the infamous Fool Frey, who boldly asked for her hand, as well as the twin knights Jason and Tywin Lannister, who courted over her at Castle Rock. Furthermore, the sons of House Oakheart, House Tarly, House Tully, and House Tyrell all expressed their interest in the princess. Sir Harwin Strong, the son of Lord Lionel Strong, also sought Rhaenyra's favor. Meanwhile, her father, King Viserys, considered marrying her to Prince Corran Martell to solidify ties with Dorne, while Queen Alicent Hightower pushed for a marriage between Rhaenyra and her eldest son, Aegon Targaryen, to unite the Targaryen line. Despite these many proposals, Rhaenyra eventually agreed to marry Sir Laenor Velaryon in 114 AC, although this decision came after their father threatened to remove her as heir to the Iron Throne if she refused. Rhaenyra had initially resisted the marriage, as she did not find Laenor's interests to her liking, famously stating that her father, "My half-brothers, would be more to his taste." The union, however, proceeded under duress, and during the wedding tournament, tragedy struck when Sir Joffrey Lonmouth, Laenor's close friend, was mortally wounded by Sir Criston Cole. Although Laenor spent much of his time away at high tide with his family, Rhaenyra remained at court, where she developed a strong bond with Laenor's sister, Lady Laena Velaryon. Lady Laena had married Prince Daemon Targaryen after the death of his first wife, Lady Rhea Royce, and was a close confidant to Rhaenyra. Laenor and Rhaenyra had 3 children together, Princes Jacaerys, Lucerys, and Joffrey Velaryon. However, rumors circulated that the true father of these children was Rhaenyra's lover, Sir Harwin Strong, nicknamed Breakbones for his exceptional strength. Unlike the pale silver gold hair and the purple eyes that characterized the Valyrian bloodline, all 3 children were born with brown hair and eyes, and features considered common such as pug noses. Despite these rumors, King Viserys made it clear that Rhaenyra was his chosen heir and that her sons would follow her. In recognition of their royal blood, each of Rhaenyra's sons were given a dragon egg at birth. While some doubted their paternity, the eggs hatched and each son became a dragon rider in time. Septon Eustace recorded a moment when King Viserys sat Jacaerys on his knee while holding court on the Iron Throne, telling the young boy, "One day this will be your seat." In 120 AC, more tragedy with Laena Velaryon, the wife of Prince Daemon, passed away, following a failed childbirth. Her funeral became the scene of a violent confrontation between Aemon Targaryen, the son of Queen Alicent, and Rhaenyra's sons, whom Aemon accused of being bastards fathered by Harwin Strong. In the ensuing scuffle, Aemon lost an eye when Lucerys defended Jacaerys with a knife. Queen Alicent demanded that Lucerys be punished by having an eye removed in return. While Rhaenyra insisted that Aemon to be interrogated to learn where he had heard the rumors, King Viserys intervened, declaring that an apology from the children would suffice, and further issued a decree that anyone found spreading the rumor of the Strong parentage would lose their tongue. Harwin Strong, under pressure from the king, was sent away to Harrenhal, where he and his father, Lord Lionel Strong, the Hand of the King, tragically perished in a mysterious fire. Though some attributed the fire to a curse on Harrenhal, others suspected foul play, with potential suspects ranging from Prince Daemon and Lord Corlys Velaryon to Larry Strong or even King Viserys himself. The same year also saw the death of Rhaenyra's husband, Sir Laenor Velaryon, who was killed in a fight with his companion and rumored lover, Sir Carl Corey. Less than 6 months after the death of Laena and Laenor and Harwin, Rhaenyra shocked the realm by secretly marrying her uncle, Prince Daemon Targaryen, at Dragonstone. Though Sept and Eustace claimed they married in secrecy to avoid King Viserys' wrath, the infamous court dwarf Mushroom suggested that Daemon, already 39 years old, had impregnated Rhaenyra, then 23, prior to the wedding. The marriage caused an uproar in King's Landing, and King Viserys was furious, declaring the wedding an insult to the memories of their deceased spouses. It took time for Viserys and Daemon to reconcile. The year ended with Rhaenyra and Daemon celebrating the birth of their first son, Prince Aegon the Younger, who was born with the same silver hair and purple eyes that marked the Targaryen bloodline. In 122 AC, Rhaenyra gave birth to another son named Viserys in honor of her father. In 126 AC, Rhaenyra made a bold claim that her second son, Lucerys, should be officially named the heir to Driftmark, a position traditionally held by the Velaryon family. However, some lesser members of House Velaryon protested, claiming that Rhaenyra's sons were illegitimate due to their supposed paternity by Harwin Strong, and thus had no right to the title. King Viserys, growing frail, listened to the protests in silence, before issuing an order of silence to those spreading the rumor by removing their tongues. As Viserys issued this decree, he injured himself on the Iron Throne, cutting his hand deeply. His condition worsened and he fell into a fever, causing widespread concern. It was only after Rhaenyra sent her own maester Gerardes to tend to the king's wounds that Viserys began to recover, though it was clear that his time on the throne was growing shorter. Despite the growing unrest and rising tensions between Rhaenyra and the other factions of the court, she continued to assert her position as heir to the Iron Throne, supported by her children and the most powerful houses that backed her claim. However, the rift between her and the rest of the royal family, especially Queen Alicent and her children, continued to widen, setting the stage for further conflict and intrigue in the years to come. Rhaenyra Targaryen, the daughter of King Viserys, was declared as heir, a decision solidified by a formal proclamation of his will. King Viserys intended for her to succeed him, securing her place on the Iron Throne. However, following his death in 129 AC, Sir Otto Hightower, the Hand of the King, and Sir Criston Cole, the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, defied his will. Instead of recognizing Rhaenyra as the rightful ruler, they crowned her half-brother Aegon II, the son of Queen Alicent Hightower, who was a decade younger than Rhaenyra. This act of defiance sparked the Targaryen civil war known as the Dance of the Dragons, where dragon riders fought on opposite sides. During the conflict, Rhaenyra fought alongside her dragon, Syrax, as she strove to claim the throne her father had promised her. At the time of Viserys' death, Rhaenyra was on Dragonstone, awaiting the birth of her sixth child. The Greens in King's Landing ensured that the news of the king's passing was withheld from her until Aegon II's coronation was complete and her supporters in the Red Keep were either dead or imprisoned. When the news finally reached Rhaenyra, her grief and fury were overwhelming, and she went into early labor, resulting in the stillbirth of a deformed daughter, whom she named Visenya. Rhaenyra blamed the death of her child on those who had denied her the throne. In response to the theft of her birthright, Rhaenyra hastily arranged for her own coronation. The arrival of Sir Steffon Darklyn of the Kingsguard, accompanied by other loyal supporters, brought with them the crown worn by her grandfather Jaehaerys I and her father Viserys I. Rhaenyra was crowned by her husband and uncle Prince Daemon Targaryen using her father's crown. When word of her coronation reached King's Landing, the Greens offered terms to Rhaenyra, allowing her and her descendants to rule Dragonstone if she renounced her claim to the Iron Throne. Rhaenyra refused, fully aware that war was inevitable. To strengthen her cause, Rhaenyra sent her sons on diplomatic missions to gain support. Her sons, Jace, flew to the Arryns, Manderleys, and Starks, while Luke traveled to Storm's End. to seek the allegiance of Lord Boros Baratheon. Though Luke's mission was considered safer of the two, it ended tragically when he arrived at Storm's End to find Aemond, Queen Alicent's younger son, already there. Aemond, riding his dragon Vhagar, killed Luke over Shipbreaker Bay, as he tried to leave after failing to secure Lord Boros' loyalty. The death of her son devastated Rhaenyra and further solidified her resolve to claim the Iron Throne. Rhaenyra eventually seized King's Landing and took the Iron Throne, where she sat for several months. Climbing the Iron Throne, Rhaenyra accepted the pleas for mercy from those in the Red Keep, though Sept and Eustace claimed that the throne itself seemed to reject her, leaving several cuts on her body. Blood from these wounds was seen as a sign of her unworthiness to rule. Despite being adorned in armor, Rhaenyra's struggles on the throne continued as her time in King's Landing was marked by increasing tensions and unrest. Rhaenyra's rule was not only challenged by the factions of her enemies, but also by the difficulties in maintaining control of the capital. The treasury, which King Viserys had left filled with gold, had been plundered by the Greens, leaving Rhaenyra desperately needing coin. Her new master of coin, Lord Bartimus Seldegar, was forced to impose crippling taxes on the populace, which led to widespread discontent. The small folk, once supportive, turned against her, mocking her as King Maegor with teats, a term that would haunt her legacy. As Rhaenyra grew increasingly paranoid, she made the fatal mistake of accusing two dragon seeds, Sir Adam Velaryon and the girl Nettles, of betrayal. Her decision to have them killed had dire consequences. Adam, alerted by Lord Corlys Velaryon, escaped on sea smoke, leading to the arrest of Corlys and the abandonment of the Velaryon fleet. Rhaenyra's harshness and erratic decisions created rifts among her allies. When she ordered the death of Nettles, Lord Manfred Minton, who had been harboring the girl under guest right, refused to comply. This defiance, coupled with Rhaenyra's increasingly tyrannical behavior, caused Manfred to switch allegiances to Aegon II. Matters took a darker turn when Queen Helaena Targaryen, beloved by the common people, committed suicide. Rumors spread quickly that Rhaenyra was responsible, further fueling the growing unrest in King's Landing. The city descended into chaos and riots erupted, leading to the storming of the Dragon Pit, where Rhaenyra's son Joffrey Velaryon was killed. Amid the rising chaos, Rhaenyra fled King's Landing, her appearance now haggard and gray from the stress and losses she had endured. After the death of all her children, she refused to let Aegon II out of her sight. In desperation, she sold her crown to raise money needed to secure passage on a Braavosi merchant ship, the Violinde. However, upon her return to Dragonstone, she was betrayed by Sir Alfred Broom, who had her Queensguard slain. Her half-brother Aegon II had her fed to his dragon Sunfire, at Dragonstone ending her life. Though Rhaenyra's three eldest sons perished in the war, her two youngest sons, born of her second marriage to Prince Daemon, survived the Dance of the Dragons. The Civil War continued when Aegon II died in 131 AC, leaving no male heirs. Aegon III, Rhaenyra's eldest son, succeeding him, having witnessed his mother's death at the hands of his uncle's dragon. Later, Rhaenyra's second son, Viserys II, would also rise to the throne. The line of succession continued through Rhaenyra's descendants, as her grandson Daeron I and great-grandson Baelor I died without issue. The memory of Rhaenyra remains divisive. To some, she was a usurper who sought to take her brother's crown. To others, she was the rightful heir of King Viserys I, whose claim was denied by treachery and ambition. So, what did you guys think of Rhaenyra Targaryen? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.